الحمد لله ثم الحمد لله. الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك ولعظيم سلطانك. سبحانك لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. لك الحمد أن بلغتنا رمضان، ولك الحمد أن أكرمتنا بالصيام، ولك الحمد أن مننت علينا بالقيام. اللهم كما أنعمت فأدم وزدنا من نعمك واجعلنا من الشاكرين. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله، أرسله رحمة للعالمين وهدى وبشرى للمحسنين، فبلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. فصل اللهم عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهديه واتبع سنته واقتفى أثره بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، فإن الله سبحانه وتعالى يقول في سورة يوسف: لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين. Allah the Almighty says in Surah Yusuf, indeed, in the story of Yusuf and his brothers are many lessons for those who are seeking. So if we were to reflect upon the story of Yusuf, we have plenty of lessons to learn, but the main focus, if you want, of the surah is about fighting amongst the brothers within the same family, same blood. Siblings are fighting amongst each other. So when we read the whole surah, you learn plenty of things from the surah, but in the very beginning you see the surah starts with this, that there are lessons to be learned for those who are seeking. It's not a strange thing to have arguments within the same family. It's not a strange thing to have disagreement between people. But it's very strange when it goes beyond the limits. اقتلوا يوسف أو اطرحوه أرضا يخل لكم وجه أبيكم وتكونوا من بعده قوما صالحين. Yusuf's brothers, they said, kill Yusuf or throw him somewhere in the land, and then you have full attention from your father, and then afterwards you become righteous. Brothers are plotting to kill their own brother. And at the same time, they want to be righteous. Contradiction. Kill him or throw him somewhere, and then afterwards you repent and you become righteous. It goes beyond the limits. What was the main animosity behind this? They thought that Yusuf is more beloved to Yaqub than them. They thought that Yaqub alayhi salam is in favoring Yusuf. But in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected the prophets and messengers from such mistakes like this, injustice. But because Yusuf himself, he was with a special character. No one sees Yusuf but loves Yusuf, not only because of his beauty, no, because of his character, because of the features which Allah has given to him, because of the intelligence which Allah has given to him, because of the wisdom which Allah has given to him, the charisma and so on. It's not because his father is in favoring him, no. And within the same surah you see, even that person who picked Yusuf from the well, he said to his wife, or that person who bought Yusuf, he said to his wife, Ahsini mathwa, look after him. So he's a stranger, but first sight he loves Yusuf. He said, look after him, be careful, we might adopt him and make him our son. You can't say this for a stranger unless you really see that person is special. This is why Yusuf was, in the eyes of his brothers, exceeding and excelling them. So they want to put an end for this. They plotted, and we know the story, but وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ. They plot and Allah has other plans. And towards the end of the story, which is the most important bit, Yusuf alayhi salam says to his brothers, فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَتَّقِ وَيَصْبِرْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. In fact, the one who's acting with taqwa and sabr, Allah will not dismiss his reward or waste his reward. So he mentioned two conditions for the remedy for these calamities. If you have plots within the same family, if you have arguments, if you have evil around you, you can't be part of it without doubt. You protect yourself against it. And Yusuf alayhi salam, he's mentioning these conditions, how to get out of it. مَن يَتَّقِ, number one, you act with piety, with righteousness, and by default, taqwa, it means following the commands of Allah and refraining from prohibitions of Allah. It means be obedient to Allah, and this is your shield against any evil, whether it's external or internal. مَن يَتَّقِ, whoever acts with taqwa. And one of the names of Ramadan is Shahrut Taqwa. It's the month of taqwa, where taqwa rises more amongst us, in our midst. So we need to increase this taqwa because this is our immunity against our own whims and desires, against our own evil, against the evil from outside as well. So he's highlighting this very fact, which is very timely. We need more than any time, more taqwa in our life. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَتَّقِي. Whoever acts with taqwa, Allah will find a way out for him. مَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. And then he mentioned the second condition for this very protection. وَيَصْبِرْ. Whoever acts with perseverance, with patience, then he will be immune against evil. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, إِنَّمَا يُوَفَّى الصَّابِرُونَ أَجْرَهُمْ بِغَيْرِ حِسَابٍ. Indeed, those who are acting with patience and perseverance will have unlimited reward. Sabr. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu says, As-sabru nisfu ad-din. Patience is half of religion. So it is so important to have patience. And one of the names of Ramadan as well is Shahr al-Sabr. It's the month of patience, where our patience will be tested. It's not what we tend to understand, that Shahr al-Sabr, it means we'll have more sabr and sabr will be parachuted on us. It's not. In fact, our sabr will be tested on a daily basis. So it's the month of testing the sabr. It's not the month of receiving sabr. It's not at all. It's the opposite. Our sabr is on the test, on the line. So Allah is testing us in this very month, because it's Shahr al-Sabr, the month of patience. So we need to work harder to increase our taqwa. We need to work harder to increase our sabr. And Allah Azza wa Jal says, Isbiru, be patient, wasabiru, and learn how to be patient. It's not just isbiru, try. It's keep trying, keep trying. It won't come overnight, sabr. Sabr, we learn how to be patient. Of course, we have different levels of sabr. Some people are more patient than others, but nevertheless, we can increase and improve our sabr without doubt. فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَتَّقِي وَيَصْبِرْ. So whoever is acting with taqwa and sabr, Allah will never waste their reward. And he sums this up in one word. He called the one who is patient and pious, he called them muhsin, al-muhsinin. So we have different levels of iman. We have first level, let's say, Islam. And the second level we have iman. And the third level it's ihsan. In the very famous hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam, when he came to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and he said, Ya Muhammad, أخبرني عن الإسلام. And then he said, Ya Muhammad, أخبرني عن الإحسان. أخبرني عن الإيمان. And then he said, أخبرني عن الإحسان. So he posed many questions to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, amongst which he started with, tell me about Islam. And then he said, tell me about Iman. And then he said, tell me about Ihsan, which is the pinnacle, the highest level. Worshipping Allah as though you can see Him. And ta'bud Allah ka'annaka tarah. So this level of Ihsan, and you become a person of Ihsan, then you are Muhsin. You are amongst Al-Muhsinin. So Yusuf alayhi salam He said, فَإِنَّهُ مَنْ يَتَّقِي وَيَصْبِرْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. So the person of ihsan is person of taqwa and sabr. If we are longing to be at that level of ihsan, then let's work on our taqwa, let's work harder on our sabr. And the victory was given to Yusuf alayhi salam against all the plots, all the hurdles, all the calamities which he came across. Going into the prison, before the prison he was into many temptations and seduction and what have you. But with his taqwa, with his sabr, Allah protected him. And similarly, when we have any hurdle in our life, we need to act with taqwa and sabr. When we have any conflict in our life, we need to act with taqwa and sabr. When we have fight amongst our brothers, like what's happening now in the Gulf between brothers, we need to act with taqwa and sabr. And if we are doing so, then we'll keep the evil away, inshallah ta'ala. But if we were to react with our emotions and then retaliate and so on, it should lead to more evil. And remember the Prophet's advice, alayhi salatu wassalam, إذا كان يوم صوم أحدكم فلا يرفث ولا يفسق. If you are fasting, then you shouldn't say bad words and you shouldn't quarrel. فإن شتمه أحد أو قاتله فليقل إني صائم. If someone wants to argue with him, or somebody insulted him, or wants to fight with him, he should say, إني صائم, I'm fasting. And this very fight now amongst the brothers, it's the same. It's not just between two people, even between two tribes, even between two countries. Muslim countries abiding to Sharia, at least one of them should say inni sa'im. He's not retaliating. He's not fighting back. Of course you have the right to protect yourself, but let's act with taqwa and sabr. Because this is exactly what our enemies want. When the Prophet ﷺ made a special dua to Allah, he asked about 4 things. He's been given 3 and he's been prevented 1. The one which he's been prevented, سألت ربي ألا يجعل بأسهم بينهم شديدا. I've asked my Lord not to make this hardship or animosity amongst my ummah strong. And Allah did not respond to this dua. And we see this animosity amongst each other is so strong, stronger than our animosity towards our real enemies. But again, in the story of Yusuf, we see it might happen, and it is happening. In the same house, we differ. Amongst the same family, we argue. But nevertheless, Sharia has to dominate our actions. Sharia has to dominate our interaction. It's not the feelings, not the emotions. And let's look at the bigger picture. Who is profiting from this atrocity? Without doubt, our enemies. It's not us. We had enough injuries, we had enough calamities and fitan. So let's come back and act as Allah stated in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. Believers are brothers, so reconcile between your brothers. This is what we need to do. So reconciliation is what we need. And Allah Azza wa Jal clearly said, وَالصُّلْحُ خَيْرٌ. Reconciliation is better. And this is Allah's word. No one can go against this. Whatever we do, we can't but to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in this very month, we open our arms, our hearts in dua and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reconcile between our brothers, to reconcile between our ummah, and bring sabr and taqwa to our actions. Ameen. Alhamdulillah wa kafa wa salatu wa salamu ala nabi al-Mustafa wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man bi'ahdihi wafa. We are nearly in the midst of Ramadan. We still have around 2 weeks. So let's maximize our ibadah. Let's maximize our reward. Let's maximize our closeness to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And there is a very beautiful ayah, and all the verses and ayat in the Quran are beautiful, but this is in specific related to Ramadan. When you read the verses of Siyam, in the midst of these verses, there's a verse has nothing to do with Siyam. It's not talking about Siyam. And this very verse is, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When my servants asks you concerning me, I am near. So when we are fasting, we are closer to Allah Azza wa Jalla. And the beauty of this ayah, Allah Azza wa Jalla is describing Himself that He is near, very close. But when He describes us, He said, وَاسْجُدْ وَاقْتَرِبْ. Prostrate and come closer. It means He is close to us, but we are far from Him. So He is calling upon us, اقترب, come forward, come closer. I am closer to you, but you are distant from me. So we need to bring ourselves closer to Allah. And there's nothing better than Ramadan to bring us closer to Allah. Especially the last days of Ramadan. And we are starting now the second 10th of Ramadan. In that second 10th of Ramadan. So let's seize the opportunity. Let's increase our closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. اللهم يا رب يا رحمن يا بديع السماوات والأرض يا ذا الجلال والإكرام اللهم قربنا إليك اللهم قربنا إليك اللهم قربنا إليك ولا تبعدنا عنك يا رب العالمين اللهم أصلح بين الإخوة يا رب العالمين اللهم أصلح بين الإخوة يا رب العالمين اللهم أصلح بين الإخوة يا رب العالمين اللهم وحد صفوفنا اللهم وحد أمتنا اللهم وحد أمتنا ردنا إليك ردا جميلا يا رب العالمين اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أجرنا من النار اللهم أعتق رقابنا من النار ورقاب آبائنا وأمهاتنا وأحبابنا من النار يا عزيز يا غفار اللهم ارحمنا فإنك بنا راحم ولا تعذبنا فإنك علينا قادر اللهم يا حي يا قيوم فرج عن إخواننا في سوريا يا الله، فرج عن إخواننا في سوريا يا الله، وفي فلسطين ولبنان والعراق وفي مصر وفي الخليج وحيثما كان ظلم وقهر يا الله. اللهم اجمع صفوفنا ووحد كلمتنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. وصلي وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.